Now, the president saying that Congress left him with no choice but to act on his own. But Charles Krauthammer telling Megyn last night that the president's a bit off base on this one. Here's the good doctor.
The Constitution could not be more clear. The president swears an oath to faithfully execute the laws. He's not allowed to make the laws. He's not allowed to change the laws. He isn't allowed to unilaterally suspend the laws, which is exactly what they are saying they are going to do. This will be a gross violation of the Constitution.
Bernard Whitman's a former Bill Clinton pollster and CEO of Whitman Insight Strategies, and Mary Katharine Ham, Fox News contributor, editor-at-large for hotair.com. How are you guys doing?
Excellent. How are you?
A lot of hot air in your town, MK. Let me tell you. All right, now listen. There are two things we need. There's two things we need to get to in 3 minutes. All right. One is the executive action. The other is what you think the House may or may not do today. But first, executive action, and the president making fun of that just yesterday. Watch.
You could say that, all right, this is a harmless political stunt, except it wastes America's time. You guys are all paying for it as taxpayers. It's not very productive. But it's not going to stop me from doing what I think needs to be done in order to help families all across this country. So,
all right, that from yesterday, MK. What does he do? Does he take action or not during recess?
Well, first, thank you, Professor Obama, for that extremely erudite justification for the use of executive power. Look, I think he wants to overlook the merits of these kinds of things because often he loses on the merits, so he wants to make it political. But look, let me put this in the words of other folks, because this isn't about just my partisan concerns with executive overreach when it happens to be Obama. If it were, that would be easier because it wouldn't be such a dire issue. But there's folks like Jeffrey Toobin, who is a liberal legal expert, who say, look, this is not how the Constitution works. You don't just get to do things because there's gridlock. Jonathan Turley, who testified to the Congress during the discussion of this lawsuit, saying you guys are going to self-destruct if you don't put a stop to this kind of thing. And now Mark Pryor and Kay Hagan, Democrats, saying on this immigration thing, he doesn't really have the power to do this. So those are actual concerns. Republicans are trying to find a third way, which I think is smart politically, aside from impeachment, which I think would be a problem for them.
Which is the lawsuit.
To deal a blow to Obama on this kind of thing.
And they won on that lawsuit a month ago, 9-0 at the Supreme Court. Remember the recess appointments?
Right, on the recess appointments.
And that's what they're going off
several
of
times.
right now. Okay, now Bernard, what will the president do, if anything, do you believe, on executive action when it comes to immigration?
You know, I hope he continues to push the Congress to actually do something. I mean, here's what makes no sense. You've actually got a president who is trying to get the work of the country done, and instead the Congress is wasting everybody's time and money with this lawsuit. And the thing about the lawsuit that really drives me insane is that the Republicans voted 40 or 50 times to repeal Obamacare, and then when the president actually tried to give employers a little bit more time to institute the mandate, the Republicans said, no, hold on, we're going to sue you. Do they want to implement it faster? I mean, the truth is, if this Congress actually took its constitutional authority seriously, then the president wouldn't have to fall back to so many executive actions. You know, Harry Truman campaigned against the Do-Nothing Congress in 1947. They passed 395 laws. This Congress has passed 72 laws in 2013.
You want more laws. I don't know. People may argue you don't want more laws. But you know what the House has done? They've passed bill after bill after bill, and none of it comes up in the Senate now. And you know that's a fact. Now, that's going to continue up into the midterm election. Now to what the House does, MK. Do they make a move today? In what form, and what does it look like?
Look, I think they're working on it. I think, as you saw yesterday, that various forces come to blows, and nothing came of it yesterday. I think there's a possibility that something comes of it today. They wouldn't have stayed over if there wasn't a possibility. Frankly, it's very up in the air. It's going to be very touch and go all day long. But to Bernard's point, the process matters. Congress, in fact, the House, the Republican House, has voted to affirm things that Obama has put off when it comes to the employee mandate and other parts of Obamacare that he's unilaterally dismissed, and he's threatened to veto those laws. So when you go through the proper process, he doesn't like it. He just likes to do things on his own, which is a real problem, and that's what the lawsuit's trying to deal with.
Now, Bernard, final word here. What does the House do?
I certainly hope they come to their senses and pass some minimum bill to be able to begin to start to solve this border crisis. We need at least funding to deal with the deportations and increase the pace of these proceedings. But I will say this, I do fault the president. I think he could do a lot more to reach across the aisle to create a climate that is better for bipartisanship. And, I'm looking forward to 2016, and perhaps it will take a woman's touch to bring Congress and the president together.
Plenty of time to debate that. Okay, have a good weekend.
We'll be back on that.
MK, thanks. Bernard, thanks to you as well.
Thanks.
All right.
Thank you.